All right, so hey people, Russ Jensen's about 10 after 4 p.m. on the 12th of January 2017 here in Salt Lake City, in the beautiful Republic of Utah in the dirt. Now, um, I was reviewing a couple of comments that I've gotten. I keep going back to this one from this snow tiger or snow leopard or whatever. Um, and I don't understand why it is the man or person, I should say, I don't know if it's a man or woman, but who would use a made up fictional word, marijuana, uh, to talk about or try to make a definition, refer to a substance, a material, a plant known as cannabis. Hmm? And then think that your rest of your comment has any validity whatsoever. Huh? You interpreted, enforced law for a lot of years. Pretty sure you're probably a law enforcement officer, a local policeman in your local municipality. You weren't enforcing law, sir or ma'am. You were enforcing municipal codes. Those are not law. Okay? So before you come talking to me again, maybe you should get yourself educated just a little bit about what is law, what's real, and a proper use of words, the definitions of them. Now, I'm going to get off of that because that doesn't make me any friends. Okay? But people, it's important to understand. Use the language, the words that we use mean everything. That's why we're in the mess that we're in. Okay? So, this book, Law of Nations, which I'm sure that Mr. Snow Tiger or Ma'am Snow Tiger has never even heard of, we claim to be a law enforcement interpreter of. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10. It is constitutional law, every word in it. Okay? If we go to Book 2, Section 116, we're going to find there some information about our rights remaining from the primitive state of communion. Now, what would that be? That would be in the days before men got together and formed societies, formed governments, allowed individuals like Mr. Snow Tiger to acquire authority and abuse it. In that state, humanity, had the use of everything on this planet to meet their indispensable obligations. And you still do to this day. I have an absolute right to use of anything on this planet to meet my indispensable obligations, as long as those are really indispensable obligations. Those rights remaining from the state of primitive communion. I have the necessary use of things, all things, the ability to do whatever I needed to do, and I still have that ability today. I still have that right, and I have a little thing called the right of necessity that gives me permission to do whatever I need to do in order to fulfill a indispensable obligation. And as long as the obligation is indispensable, and the method that I choose to fulfill the duty attendant to the obligation, my right of necessity then makes that action, which could possibly be considered to be unlawful, but in that circumstance, that instance, it is lawful for me to engage in that activity, use that substance, take that action. Now, that's codified constitutional law, Mr. Snow Tiger. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10, Law of Nations, Book 2, Section 119. Now, if we go to Book 1, Section 128, which is also the book, the place that your United States Supreme Court is formed upon its authority, because the United States Supreme Court that you believe, the 9 justices, the one that we're having that little controversy over right now, is a legislatively creative inferior court. Now, I went into that again a little bit, but in my book it explains a lot better, differently. But Section 128, we talk about rights of individuals, endeavoring to know your Creator, actions performed. You have an indispensable obligation to endeavor to know your Creator. Personal worship isn't about just praying. about wearing certain clothes, going to certain places, doing certain rituals. Huh? It can be all those things, it certainly can. Huh? But it's not limited to that. It's not limited to a belief system. It's predicated upon actions and performance. Okay? And your belief cannot be commanded. Your understanding of what's necessary for you, your necessities, huh, cannot be commanded, cannot be determined for you by anyone but you. Not a legislative body, not a law enforcement officer with a badge and a gun and a car and handcuffs and all that stuff. Huh? Not a Congress, not a legislatively created inferior Supreme Court. You, and Mr. Snow Tiger, and the rest of you better start understanding literally what it is that's going on here. You are you're a bit of conscious awareness here in this physical reality. You claim you know where you're at, Earth. You don't. Neither do they. Okay? But you're here by yourself all the time, 24/7, in your existence. And you can be sitting right here next to me. We could be looking at the same things, feeling or experiencing, hearing, listening. Your individual experience is your individual experience. It can't be the same as mine, ever. Okay? That's why those very highly educated, intelligent men that wrote that document, the Constitution, one that you probably, I don't think you've ever really read it, Mr. Snow Tiger. Because if you did, you would understand that Article 3, there was no power granted. Power cannot be vested until it has been granted, until it's been acquired. Understand? Okay? And that can only come from people. Now, since law and justice, and if you understood really claiming that you would interpret and enforce law, you would understand too that case law applies to that case, period. Your citations to other cases, Supreme Court holdings, that gives you a general idea. Doesn't apply to the specific instant matter. Okay? So there's no possible way that through a document like the Constitution that a judicial branch can be delegated power, because that has to be done on an individual basis by the litigants, by the parties. Okay? Your courts, people, when you walk into them, have zero power until you show up and grant that to them, consent to their jurisdiction. They don't have permission to operate until you give them permission to do so. Okay? Okay? It's simple. Now, my right of individuals, my indispensable obligation to engage in endeavoring to know my Creator through performance, through beliefs, through the use of substances if I deem necessary, is a right remaining from the state of primitive communion when I have the use of everything. And it's protected because that right cannot be denied to me. And it's protected by the right of necessity. And those things, those statements, those rights, those protections are codified at the Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10, Law of Nations, Book 1, Section 128, and Book 2, Section 116, 117, and 119. Mr. Snow Tiger, go read, get yourself educated, and then come back and make some comments to me. So, people, you need to start reading. You need to start understanding truly what's going on, who and what you are. Now, like I said, I don't think that anybody's going to come help me make a demand for the Constitution. Mr. Snow Tiger certainly isn't, because he probably never even read it. Okay? Wish you people would. I don't quite understand how it is that a little kid got some terrible, horrible disease, awful, and the parents make a little YouTube video or on Facebook, whatever, goes viral, everybody gets all emotional and sad, uh, fundraisers, all kinds of things that are happening without wanting to address the cause, the root cause of that. And the root cause of those, for the most part, at this point in time, is your form of governance that you have been subjected to and what they've allowed to happen. You think that you live here in the United States of America, we walk in the grocery store and there's thousands of products everywhere, aren't there? But if you take time to get yourself educated just a little bit about that process also, you would understand that the vast majority of those products in your stores are made out of corn byproducts. Oh, they got 1,000 different names for them. A bit of flavoring, uh, some essential oils, different things like that. It's not very much there. The problem with corn is that it is not the same plant that was maize when your Christopher Columbus came back over here invading this continent. Okay, it's a hybrid, genetically modified, if you want to use that word. Okay, corn is one of the most difficult products, food masses to digest. It's also one of the most inefficient plants, highly needs a tremendous amount of resources. Vast majority of the products in your modern society, food products, building materials, plastics, all the things that you have and all the things around you in your homes. So, because most of those are created from petroleum products or byproducts of that, they do have a quick outgassing volatile organic compounds, toxins. Okay? All those materials, for the most part, can be replaced, can be created, built by, using byproducts of hemp. In fact, those products are far superior to what you have now, with no volatile organic compounds, no toxicity. Huh? Hemp also, it's a far better exchange from carbon dioxide into oxygen, which you're really going to need because your elected officials, the ones that you pat on the back all the time, think you're so great, have a lot of policy, or did to from the 50s. Huh? Well, they're even doing it now today. They're just not telling you about it. Huh? Nuclear testing. Well, there's no life in the ocean. Phytoplankton are pretty much dead or dying, gone. Okay? You don't believe me? I know you don't. Doesn't really matter. If you're able to afford to go over to the Coral Sea, which is a few hundred miles off the coast of Australia, the other side of the planet from where I'm at, huh, you could go scuba diving there and you would find no coral, very little, if any, life of any kind. And in such a disease state, no, that's what's happening from the policies, the agricultural policies, the monetary policies, the legislative policies of this group that Mr. Snow Tiger seems to think has such authority, operating outside the authority of the document that gives them permission to exist. And that permission comes from your consent, my consent. But what? You consented to do certain things, and then they just decide, hey, we can do what we want. You voted for us. Okay? Now, go away, go down here, go about your little job, be a good little slave for us, good little taxpayer, a good little consumer. Shut up. That, people, is what's happening. That's truth. I know nobody wants to hear it. I don't have fancy music, flashing lights, graphics, handsome people. I'm not a handsome man. Okay? I'm not a beautiful woman. Okay? Who I am is a bearer of the truth, the ugly, raw truth that people like Mr. Snow Tiger refuse to acknowledge. They'll come make disparaging marks against me, comments, statements. People don't want truth. I know you don't. People don't want to take responsibility. That's why we don't, for the most part. You're going to have to. Okay? Don't have that much time left. The diseases are going to get worse. They already are. The suffering is going to get worse. Already is. The control mechanisms are going to become more restrictive, which they already are. Okay? You, the conscious awareness, your purpose here, your meaning here is becoming more and more devalued, non-meaningful, outside of what? A little bit of consumption, force-fed, a diet that is foreign to your evolutionary development. Okay? For what? For a group of people that can do what? Believe that this kind of shit right here is worth the value of your life, is worth the suffering of your children, your grandchildren, the people you love. You sit by idly, doing nothing. Can't even get people to watch these because it's truth. You want to believe me or not? That's what the truth is, people. Your government officials do not have permission to do what they're doing right now to any of us. They force that through violence, through deception, through non-accountability to you. You don't matter. Right? This is what matters. They don't give a shit about your suffering. Do they? They don't give a shit about the suffering of the other species on this planet. Do they? Obvious, they don't. They compromise your elected officials that you believe in, you trust, that once they get elected, you can't get 5 minutes. They'll come spend an hour in election season talking to your little luncheon group, glad handing everybody, and afterwards, you don't matter. Right? That whole process is a facade. Right? There's a bare, thin veneer that they're maintaining about the Constitution and your rights. Now, as long as that's there, we have a chance to save this planet. Need some people to help, do a little bit of reading, present this material in a better fashion than me, but mostly, ask that one question. Is that Constitution valid? Yes or no? Because if it is, they got a lot of problems, a lot of things they need to answer for. And if it's not, they have a lot of things they need to answer for. And if they ignore you, they still have a lot of things to answer for, and they don't want to do that. So they don't like people like me. Okay? I'm sorry, Mr. Snow Tiger. I haven't made one false statement about any of this information. And if you would read, you could verify it for yourself. Everybody wants in 140 characters or less, Twitter format, like I said, a shiny video, big tits, a nice ass, shiny cars. Okay? Pretty sure those of you that have sick children in the hospitals, or will have, that your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, undergoing chemo, undergoing the horrible, torturous regimens that they put these cancer patients through, doesn't give a shit if it's 140 characters or a shiny car, beautiful woman, a beautiful man. They want the pain to stop. I'm wondering why it is that that's been brought upon them. For this? Please, people, start taking this serious. Okay? Come help me. Not hard. It's demanding accountability, truth, and honesty from our elected officials. Is that so hard? Is that so frightening for you? Okay?